president, my first priority is the safety of the American people. And that's why even as we accept more refugees, including Syrians, we do so only after subjecting them to rigorous screening and security checks. We also have to remember that many of these refugees are the victims of terrorism themselves. That's what they're fleeing.
President Obama earlier today telling reporters that while the security of Americans is his top priority, he will continue to accept more Syrian refugees because they are also victims of ISIS. Friday's terror attacks in Paris have once again put the spotlight on these refugees after at least one suspect reportedly posed as a Syrian refugee to get into France. It's something that must be getting a lot of pushback from members of Congress as this plays out. So what will be happening in their home districts and abroad affect us legislatively in Washington? For more on that, we're joined by former House Majority Leader Tom DeLay. Tom is deep in the heart of Texas, down in Sugar Land, and Leader, as always, we're grateful for your time here on Newsmax Prime.
Great to be with you, JD.
So what can Congress do? The president is intent on bringing in, well, the latest reports I've heard, raising the cap up to 100,000 refugees from Syria for the next 2 years at least. What can Congress do?
Well, JD, did you notice he didn't say any Christian refugees? Where are the Christian refugees? There's got to be at least 10,000 of those. Bring in those first. No, Congress has to take on the president. The president in his press conference, what I saw was he all but surrendered. He has surrendered to ISIS. We have a president that's feckless, that's incompetent, that has no idea what he's doing. His worldview is the wrong worldview and for a war president. And Congress has to say it. Congress has to stand up. If I were there, first and foremost, I would suspend all legislation for the rest of the year. The spending bill that has to get done could be a continuing resolution, and focus on going to war and eliminating ISIS. And go to the American people in their districts and in their states, explain what's going on here, explain what has to happen, to, show them that a president that is a coward, and stand up for the people when they rise up. The first place I would go is I would go to every state that has a Democrat senator and every district that has a Democrat House member, and I would physically move my members into those districts and start holding town meetings and hang Obama around these Democrats and weaken their resolve to support this horrible strategy of Obama. And then you can build a pressure cooker that might force the president to do the right thing.
Now, look, we had our challenges with Bill Clinton when I first joined you in the Congress of the United States. Theodore Roosevelt calls it the bully pulpit. Being president, having one message to send out, as opposed to 435 different members of Congress or 200 plus on the Republican side, that is a real challenge. Do you really believe Republicans can make the case in their individual districts and in Democrats' districts if they're so inclined? About a minute.
Well, yeah, if all it needs is a little leadership. Put together a communication plan, have experts show up with you, former generals. I would use General Kane all over the United States, put together a communications plan and execute that plan, and then start passing resolutions out of the House that reflect the will of the people. And that shows ISIS. See, in his press conference, Obama told ISIS, keep doing what you're doing and we'll do nothing about it. We need to send a message, a real message to ISIS that the American people won't take this and we will destroy you.
All right. Tom DeLay tonight from Sugar Land, Texas. Leader, as always, you have our thanks. You heard what Tom had to say. Do you think his plan might work? Why don't you send me your comments? Here's where you can do so. Send them to newsmaxtv.com/comments. The leader touched on the fate of Christian refugees. I'll be talking about that some in my commentary a bit later. But when we come back, what would Ronald Reagan do? Our guest will discuss that as Newsmax Prime continues.